Poor ownership saw Aston Villa crumble in their final seasons as a Premier League team, leading to a relegation in 2016. 3 years later, they're back in the Premier League. So can Villa return in fashion in 2019? This video was recommended by Hardrock4. Leave your video suggestions in the comments and you'll be featured at the start. The 10th of October saw Dean Smith appointed as manager of Aston Villa with the vision of transforming the team away from what Villa described as Bruce ball, the defensive, lacklustre football dictated by previous manager Steve Bruce. It resulted in 1 win in 9 games at the time of his sacking. This needed changing, and therefore Dean Smith came in and switched to more attacking options, one of which was a 4-2-3-1 that he continued to use a lot throughout the season. His first 6 games in charge saw him pick up 12 out of 18 points, scoring 11 goals in the process. More impressively, they won 10 out of their last 12 games of the season, only losing points to Norwich and Leeds in the final stretch. It's clear that the positive mindset that Dean brought into the team impacted right away, and was a big factor in getting them into the Premier League. A significant part to the game played by Aston Villa is the defensive structure they line up with. A neat pressing system is used, which aims to prevent passes reaching the players who can take the ball into the final third. Using the Derby game as an example, passing options for Lampard's sides were minimalised by Villa's static marking. They would happily sit back and let the Derby defence pass around by themselves and block any options of passing into the midfield and anywhere over the halfway line. Only when Derby made it into Villa's half and further into the final third would Aston Villa start to pressurise harder and get the ball back. Apart from the 2-1 loss to Norwich on the final game of the season, Aston Villa didn't concede more than 1 goal per game throughout March, April and May, meaning that Dean's defensive structure was really what pushed Villa up the table, leading to becoming playoff champions. Going into next season now, players will have to be replaced in the team. Tuanzebe, Mings and Abraham were on loan players that featured in the playoff final who have since returned to their clubs, although Mings could be returning permanently. Abraham picking up 25 goals was a clear key player. However, Villa have dipped into the market already and signed Wesley from Club Brugge for £22.5 million. He scored 10 goals and assisted 9 times in 28 games in the Belgian Pro League last season, along with 2 goals in the Champions League and 1 goal in the Europa League. To me, this seems like a huge coup for Aston Villa. At 22 years of age as well, he's got potential to be a driving force in this team and guide Villa back to a stable position at the top level. Additionally, the money that could be made back from his sale if he performs at a top quality level could be huge. With experience in European competitions, it'd be no surprise for bigger clubs to track him this season. This deal isn't just about performances for now, but possibly finances for the future. As well as Wesley, at the time of creating this video, Villa have made another 4 signings. Courtney House and Anwar El Ghazi were on loan last season and have now signed permanently. These were definitely clever and sensible deals to make. Jota from Birmingham joined for an undisclosed fee, with Gary Gardner going in the opposite direction, and 23-year-old left-back Matt Targett joined from Southampton in a £14 million deal, which also sees him bring him some Premier League experience. El Ghazi will continue to be one of their main outlets for creating chances on the wing, but they'll have a quality option in the middle too with Jack Grealish. In the season just past, he showed why he's rated by a lot of people. Averaging 2.3 key passes and 1.8 dribbles per 90 minutes, you can expect to see him setting up other players where they can advance into dangerous positions. I think with these players coming in, they find themselves with a good squad of young players, some with experience in the Premier League, others with proven qualities at the club already, and on top of that, new signings who can impact positively on this team to push them forward. So what does Aston Villa's start to the season look like? Firstly, an away trip to Tottenham. A tough ask for your first game returning into the Premier League with players who'll be new to the league. After this, home games against Bournemouth and Everton will be good fixtures for Aston Villa to settle in a little more, with an increased chance of picking up their first points. The 6th game is another hard away trip at the Emirates this time, taking on Unai Emery's Arsenal. It's certainly not an easy start, but one way to look at it would be they're diving straight into the deep end, and it shows the players what they can expect throughout the season. With all this being said, how do Aston Villa now return to the best in the Premier League? They've gone in the right direction already by looking for young players in the market who can grow throughout this campaign and gain that experience together. Dean Smith may have the knowledge needed to safely guide Villa to a stable first season. It's important that the defensive structure they built last season is brought over to the Premier League. This might be what gets them that magic 40-point goal that teams aim for. This is what is most important for Villa. If that happens, this is where Aston Villa can start to progress in this division. In my opinion, I do see a stable season ahead for Villa, achieved from the manager's tactical mindset and exciting players that can thrive at this level. That experience and knowledge has to be gained this season, and if so, Aston Villa could be looking at exciting times ahead with Dean in charge. As always, I want to hear your opinion, so comment below what you think about this topic. I recommend you don't miss future videos. Subscribe to Route 1 and like the video if you did enjoy.